I'm Dave Wurzel, and you're watching PHTV4 Living Well. On Living Well, we look at a variety of topics related to living a healthy lifestyle, exercise, mind, body, everything. Today we are at Running for Kicks in Palos Heights. I've got the owner on my right, Mel Diab. Mel, thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
And we're going to talk about, we've talked before about, running, walking, being fit, being active and moving. But today we're going to specifically take a look at part of living well is also that you are, I'm going to say, like in the right gear. And today we're talking about shoes because it can make a world of difference.
Absolutely.
And I know that you're really good at this. You're, super professional at it. You also have a great staff to help you do this. And so what I'd like you to talk about is why is wearing the right shoe important, and how do you and your staff, and you can introduce them, how do they help you put people in the right shoe?
Well, I think we have the best shoe fitters in the world. Mike has been here since February of 1997. And Alan and Callista have been here for 7+ years. And our philosophy is in Running for Kicks is we're invested in your success. Whatever your goals are, beginning a walking program, your first 5K, or if you're spending 12 hours on your feet, shoes should feel good.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you put it. It's not the old days of like breaking in your shoe. No, that's not a thing.
That's not our philosophy. We believe shoes should feel good right out of the box.
Right.
We never tell a client or a customer to break anything in.
Yeah.
No, this is bad.
And I'm going to say, and I have to be honest, yes, I do buy my shoes here. And actually, I think each one of you have helped me at different points, including my wife. And it does make a world of difference. The right shoe for the right foot, for the way you hit the ground. So you were just talking about how important the right shoe is. Why can't anybody just go grab a shoe off a shelf? And they can, but maybe what's so important about finding the right shoe for that person?
Well, the person who comes in this store or any store that wants to start a exercise program, they want to get a proper fit. That's number one. There's so many excuses not to work out, and we don't want to add ill-fitting shoes. So if you're a walker or a runner, or like I said, you do 12-hour shifts, we want to make sure you get a proper shoe. Absolutely.
And what does the proper shoe do for the person in terms of they wearing the wrong shoe by contrast?
Well, it could cause blisters, ankle problems, knee problems, back problems, because everything starts from the ground up. So if the shoe's not aligned to your body's out of whack. So like say, for example, if you have buy new tires for a car, and if it's not aligned, what happens when you drive it? It kind of shakes a little bit. It's kind of like that with the human body. If it's not aligned, issues can happen.
Yeah, you mentioned you went all the way up, like ankles, knees. I'm throwing hips too.
Yep, yeah, all the way up to your neck. Absolutely.
Yeah, hips back. Yeah. So all right. So the right shoe is really critical. Now that kind of implies there's a different shoe for maybe almost each of us. Like we don't all have the same body type or the build. And people, can you talk a little bit about the way people walk on their feet, whether inside or outside, how that affects us?
Well, one question we ask, what is the best shoe company out there? They all make great shoes. It's the category, getting you in the right category. That's the most important thing. So you have some people, I'm going to use my hands as somebody's feet, who are neutral. And then you have some people who pronate, and you have some people who supinate. So it's so important to get the right category. We might sell a shoe to a young man or a young lady, and they'll say, I bought the best shoe at Running for Kicks, go get the same one. If the foot structure is not the same, it's not going to work.
Right.
Yeah, so it's got to be, it all depends on your foot structure, and we want to know any issues you have. If you have knee, plantar fascia, heel spurs, or hip problems, we want to make sure that works too. And we would never tell a customer to break it in. It's got to feel great out of the box.
To me, that's so amazing because, I'm old enough that I can remember, that was never part of the experience. And now it is such a much better experience and a better process. You were talking about supinating and pronating and how that can affect it, or the person's foot structure. And maybe you can go into that next part of that a little bit, the way a person either their foot hits the ground or and I know you've done this for me, where you check the wear and tear on the bottom of their shoe to see the wear. What is that showing you?
When people come in, we ask them to bring their old shoes so we can look at the wear pattern on the bottom of the shoe so we can see how you land. So it gives us an insight how you walk or run. So it's important to bring your old shoes in. And then from that, we ask you a series of questions. We have this old-fashioned. This has been there since cavemen. So this is a branding device, and we measure your feet. It tells you the length and the width, and then we go from there. Absolutely.
Okay, so there's a lot involved in this process and checking the bottom of the wear and the tear of the shoe. I want to ask you, because you mentioned this a little bit, what about somebody who's recovering from an injury, like an ankle injury or a knee injury, and they're coming in to get a new pair of shoes? Does that factor into this?
Everything factors in. Injuries, coming off of injury, preventing injuries. It's all that's what Running for Kicks is all about. Again, we're invested in your success.
Okay, so if somebody's coming off, let's say an ankle injury, for example, finding them the right shoe becomes that much more important so that they don't, for example, re-injure it, or they help it recover quicker.
Yeah, somebody who has an ankle injury, we want to give them something a little bit more stable to hold their ankle, preventing from pronating or supinating, to keep them neutral. So we want to get pressure off their ankles. Absolutely.
All right, a more stable platform, I guess. All right, and then I wanted to ask one other, like, do you have any other advice for people looking at shoes? And I'm going to drop a line that you've used on me if you don't do it. So I'm going to let you do your own first. But any other person just coming in looking for a pair of shoes, what advice would you have for them?
You know, when I opened up in February of '97, I had a big sign in front that says, "We don't sell by color. Everything depends on your foot structure." And to be honest with you, the first year or so was pretty tough because guys and girls are used to buying by color. So somebody would come over and say, "I like that shoe." I said, "Well, that shoe's meant for somebody with high arches. You have flat feet," and walk right out. But we stuck to our guns. We get a lot of referrals from podiatrists, physical therapists, and neurosurgeons. They trust us to put them in the right patients, besides the walkers and the runners. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're also helping people who are being referred to you. And actually, you did drop, that was the line, you know, and I think you used it on me. I don't care if the shoe is pink or not. If it's right for my foot, I'm going to wear it.
Absolutely. You know, 60-plus years of running high school and college competitive marathons. At 74, I'm pretty beat up. So I'm never pain-free, but if I did find a shoe that made me pain-free and hot pink, I would wear it. I don't care, you know, absolutely.
Yeah, color doesn't matter. The fit and how it helps support the structure of your foot and your body. Mel, thank you very much. This has been excellent insight into why this shoe is so important and how it can help people. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm Dave Wurzel, and you've been watching Living Well. We're at Running for Kicks in Palos Heights. We've been talking with owner Mel Diab about finding the right shoe for you. Thank you for watching.